We know what Green Day once sang when September comes, and that's when we will have to wait till we can see our new look Rangers at Ibrox. And I know what you're asking, when the season begins on the 3rd of August, and we've got Champions League ties as well, why are we going to have to wait till September to see Rangers play at Ibrox? Well, yet again, this board proving that they are the biggest bunch of amateur fools in the history of the game. The stadium will not be ready for the opening day of the season or for the whole of August. It has been revealed today by the club. That's right. Because of this, now Philippe Clement's side will have to play its first home games in the Premiership and possible Champions League qualifiers away from Ibrox, taking away that home advantage, which of course begs questions about season ticket holders, tickets, requests, obviously fans getting hold of tickets and possible locations for this game. And we'll get to the possible farce of a location in a moment. So look, Rangers have come out today and said that the work that is ongoing on the Copeland Road stand to make it more accessible for disabled fans, which obviously we fully support, that needs to happen, has meant he's now running substantially behind time. It was meant to be ready for the start of the season. It will now not be ready for the start of the season, as it is running several weeks behind time. The new campaign, which gets underway on the 3rd of August, Rangers will not obviously be able to play at home first game and possibly for the whole of the month of August due to this ridiculous situation we now face. And why is this? Because apparently a shipment of steel from Asia is going to be delayed getting here. So therefore, the stadium will not be ready. Well, a couple of questions there. Number one, why was it not planned in any possibilities of obviously works falling behind time to obviously make sure that this work was completed on time for the start of the season and obviously those vital Champions League qualifiers? And secondly, why is it the only place we can buy steel from is Asia? Is that because it's cheap? I don't know. There we go. With the delivery now not expected to arrive on the UK shores until now late July. That is right. It is now the 20th of June, and that delivery will not arrive until the end of July, which is absolutely ludicrous. It means that Rangers will have to find an alternative venue for home games. Yes, that's right. Ibrox not available, so we have to find a new home ground for home games, which of course will make us a bit of a laughing stock, and of course will give that lot from across the city even more ammunition to take the piss out of the poor running of our club. I think we can kind of say that yes, there is this problem with the way our club is run by this board of absolute incompetence. Now, what is happening? So look, one of the conversations was obviously let's use Hampden then. Hampden's in Glasgow. Let's use it. It's a national stadium. It's got a big capacity. We can use Hampden. Well, apparently that is not a possibility, with quite a few of the dates clashing with events that have been already organised and booked for Hampden, such as top concerts by, for instance, Pink. So, for example, that is well out of the window. Now, Rangers will obviously need a substantial venue. We cannot obviously play these games at grounds with ridiculously small capacities. That is just not a possibility. With the fact that Ibrox holds over 50,000, with the fact that we have so many season ticket holders, such a demand for tickets, and the fact that you cannot obviously sell this team short in terms of giving them the best possible backing for home games and, of course, for European games. So where is another venue that is possibly being talked about? Yes, apparently a discussion is currently ongoing that the games could be played at Murrayfield, which is in Edinburgh. Now, that would mean that it's 48 miles away from Glasgow. That would mean that we'd have to travel to the other end of the M8 to watch our home games in Edinburgh. I mean, this is totally and wholly unacceptable. This is absolutely ludicrous for the club to suggest that that would be the situation, that we'd have to travel to Murrayfield to play our home games. Now, we are, of course, going to be at Murrayfield to play Manchester United in that pre-season friendly game. No issues with that, other than the fact that ticketing prices are exceptionally high. Murrayfield, of course, does have a capacity of 67,000, which means obviously more tickets, bonus. But you know what? It would obviously, be a situation where you'd have to hire the ground. You've got on costs in terms of transport, in terms of accommodation costs. You're also increasing the amount the fans have to spend to travel to games. You've obviously got a petrol cost or public transport costs or possibly even hotel costs. All of which, of course, the club will not compensate the fans for. So season ticket holders obviously would have the right to enter those games, but of course would then have to pay more to get there, would have to pay to possibly stay, would pay. it's a Pandora's box of expense for our fans. Now, I know our fans will spend whatever money they have to follow our team, because that's, as a group of fans, how dedicated we are. Now, according to reports in the media, John Bennett is absolutely furious. Well, John, I tell you something, you're not anywhere near as half as furious as the fans are going to be with this news. Yes, I know you may have been given repeated assurances from the developers that this work would be completed by the time the season began, but at the end of the day, I think, you've got to kind of think about what compensation you're going to put in place for the fans. I think something needs to be looked at in terms of this absolute shower that run this club. It's just utterly ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous that the club are in this position where we won't have a home ground. Now, you forget the impact, of course, that this could have on Champions League qualifiers. We play a Champions League qualifier at home at Ibrox. Ibrox is rocking. The atmosphere is one of the most fearsome in Europe. Obviously gives us a major advantage. Now that this game would have to be moved to another ground, it obviously takes that home advantage away. It's just a joke. This has come at the worst possible time for Rangers. We've got a huge set of games coming up in August. Not only is the start of the season when we've got to hit the ground running and not let them start off and get ahead of us, but we've also got the qualifying for the Champions League as well. Obviously the SPL fixtures are announced next Thursday, and UEFA will require informing of what are the alternative arrangements for Rangers. This is just an absolute joke from the board, an absolute joke from the club. And I think the Saturday podcast tweeted it best: the most amateur-run club in Scotland. In a statement, the Ibrox boards held their hands up and said this: Rangers has recently been advised of a delay in material shipment from Asia, which is likely to impact on the programme for the completion of the Copeland Road stand. It's therefore expected, unfortunately, there will be an impact on the matches at Ibrox at the beginning of the 2024-25 season. The club has engaged with the SPFL and UEFA in order to review planned contingency arrangements. Naturally, everyone at Rangers is deeply disappointed with this news. The club is working intensively to ensure all steps are taken to deliver the project at the earliest possible date, and further progress update will be issued in due course. But where does that mean we're going to play? What sort of compensation is in place for this? How does this take away from the recruitment process? And it's just an absolute farce from this club from beginning to end. And like I said, if it is a situation where games are moved to Murrayfield or a site that is miles out of the city of Glasgow, how are fans going to be compensated for that extra cost of travelling, extra cost of staying places, etc., etc.? It's just, again, the club needs to think of the supporters and not just take for granted the fact that we will spend our hard-earned cash on, following them because that's what we always do, because they fucked up in this occasion. So this is an absolute joke, an absolute farce from the football club. Like that statement said, about the disappointment and the fact that the board are angry. Well, I'll tell you something, John Bennett and the board, you're not anywhere near as angry as the fans are going to be at this ridiculous situation, and the impact this could have, not only on the fans and the amount of money they have to spend, but also on the start of the season, also on the team, and also on progression in the Champions League. Absolutely ridiculous, absolutely ludicrous. John Bennett, sort it out or get out. Thanks for watching. As always, guys, on the way out, please smash that like, and always remember, we are the people.